before I dive into alignment waves, I feel like I wouldn't be able to start the call without addressing what's happening in the world because it does impact vibration. Now, I've told you guys, I don't want to get political on these calls, right? Because whenever I'm having a conversation these days, I'm always under the assumption that half of the people I'm talking to are on one viewpoint and half of the people I'm talking to are on the other. But what I want to do here is unify us, that we don't have to have the same viewpoint, but we all can connect on how hard, how scary, how kind of volatile this time is. So putting like details aside, right? It's a time when there's heaviness, whether you are on one side or the other. It's heavy. You get on social media, it's heavy. You are seeing people that you love that you didn't realize had an opposite viewpoint as you. You are seeing other people post things that are triggering things inside of yourself. It is a very bumpy time right now. So I want to unify us all. And that is my job. That like here, I'm not saying that we all have to have the same viewpoint. Here, the lens is vibration. And when we're going through a time like this, I just want to be a reminder, right? That like, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories on here either, right? Okay. Like that's a whole nother class. But I do want to give you the reminder of this, okay? That these issues that we are experiencing in the world are very much real, okay? So when I say that these can be distractions, I'm not saying that these are not real or that they're fake or anything like that. What I am saying is these very real things tend to pop up and we think that they're coming up out of nowhere, or like, oh my gosh, like this fluke thing happened, or like, oh, this like weird thing out of nowhere. And what I'm telling you is, if you're able to rise above the panic, fear, everything going on in the very real situations that we're experiencing, there is something else happening where, like, whatever president we have, that president doesn't really have all the power, right? I think that's the biggest misconception. Like, Congress has power, the people behind Congress has power, like people are puppets, right? So whenever there are big things happening in the world like this, I go to what's really going on. Why is it that we are all being bombarded with this much chaos? Why is it that now, like if I were in war, not that I would be, but if, let's just say, a past life, I was like, a queen that was, war off with their heads. My strategy would be, let's tire our opponent to the point of exhaustion before we strike, right? That would make sense. Like, I just want to remind you guys that like these very real issues are very real, but also we can't give in to stopping our life or stopping self-care or stopping what we need to be happy, because here is what I believe is happening, okay? And you can take it or leave it, okay? I believe that there is a big kind of strategy happening, not going to call it conspiracy, okay? Strategy happening where it's wanting us in a low vibrations like place, wanting us to feel chaos, wanting us to feel fear, wanting us to feel panic, so that we become easier to manipulate. Manipulate can mean marketing or whatever, right? When we're in that fear state, lots of things can happen. So I am not telling you to not have real fear with these events happening. What I am telling you is feel the real feelings, but also have moments where you rise up and look at the big picture, right? If you can see that there is a lot of chaos happening on purpose to you, right? On purpose, then these very real things by themselves are very real and very big. But the real war, the real fight is not these little things that we are being baited with. These are their own fights and their own issues and their own wars, yes. But when we're looking through the lens of vibration, which is the class here, if you think about why would some people in the world want vibrations low? That's a whole nother class, right? But when you think about fear, it's the unknown, right? We have no idea what's about to happen. When we're in fear, we either want to be controlled or we want to control. And for us here, we've had relationships in our childhood, in our past, that lead us to want to be more controlled, even though we don't think we do and we hate it, right? So here, the empowering piece is not, let me just not turn on the news. Let me just not know what's going on. Let me not just go on social media. That isn't the answer. The empowering piece is, I'm going to be aware. I'm going to understand what's happening, but I'm also not going to take the bait and say that now is not the time that I can be of higher vibration or work on my happiness, or I'm not worthy of these things. Because guess what? If all of these things were happening and everyone was still happy, it wouldn't be working, right? Wouldn't be working. And these whatever people would have to figure out other ways to get what they want. So here, when we have dips in vibration, when we have dips in very real events happening in the world, feel it. Feel it, but don't get stuck there. And that's what I'm saying. We are living in a very real, very scary time, regardless of what side that you're on, right? It's very, very scary. What is easy for us to do is go, okay, why am I even thinking about wanting to reach for that thing that is going to help me? Why do I want to, it just takes away hope. It takes away hope, and it takes away the feeling that you have a choice for your happiness. And I am saying that happiness is not that you feel high vibrations and are just totally oblivious and in denial to everything that's happening. Like, that is not pure happiness. Happiness is allowing and knowing that, yes, there is so much happening in the world. And also, I'm allowed to focus on my happiness at the same time. We're allowed to feel multiple feelings at the same time. When I'm seeing all of the pain and the chaos happening in the world, and I go to a picnic with Nick and the boys, and I'm laying there on the blanket and I'm having a beautiful moment with Hudson, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, he's laughing and I'm laughing. If I were to think, oh, I shouldn't be laughing right now, that is them taking what they want, right? That is me not being just aware of what's happening. That's the control that I'm talking about. When we start to edit our emotions in the opposite direction, this is what I'm talking about. We are allowed to feel dips. That's normal, okay? And that's life, and that's the scarier. Like, in any given day, we're going to feel so many different emotions, right? We're not going to just reflect back and say, oh, that was a happy day. Oh, that was a sad day. Oh, that was, right? There's like moments of many things. And If you have moments of many things, that's living, right? That's living, right? In one moment, I'm like sitting there on the blanket with Hudson. The next moment, I'm getting very bad news in a text message. The other moment, I'm getting excited about something that's going to happen in the future. Like, that is life. And what I want to really instill in us here in this empowerment is this idea of resilience. Resilience is not becoming a punching bag, right? Resilience is not letting other people control you, right? Resilience is saying, I am I understand that there is this out there and I'm going to get knocked down, but I'm not going to get upset when I get knocked down. I'm going to get excited when I get back up. Right? It doesn't matter how many times we get knocked down. It matters how often we choose to get back up. Right? Mom and I both have been very open and real with you guys over the years. We've said, right, we are not perfect people. Like, we just like, no one is, but for sure we can speak to ourselves. We are not perfect people. And we have not been perfect people. We have tried to be perfect people in the past, as I'm sure maybe some of you guys have as well, right? This illusion of like, oh, perfect is happy. No, right? We get knocked down, we make mistakes. Mistakes are not bad. And I think sometimes when we're feeling this, when I feel into the energy around and when I feel into how people are responding to the dip in this energy, people are saying things like, I just feel like a failure. I just feel like I should be somewhere else than I am right now. I just feel lost. And I'm hearing these very different conversations with people, but the very same theme. Like, why is it that the world out there is chaos, but we feel like failures? Because in lower vibrations, we hear information through different lenses. Right? The whole point of summer with you here in the alignment waves is to raise our vibration so that we can ask a different question. In lower vibrations, right, when there's no hope, we are like, where's the money that's going to fall out of the sky to fix this problem? Right? Like, it's just like, that's all I can see is like, I just need massive amounts of money. We all need money. Okay. And some of us need more than others. And that's yes, but that isn't the answer. When you start to raise your vibration, you start to see other solutions. You start to ask different questions. You can still be in a position where you do need more money, but the question changes and a different solution comes forward. That is power. And what I want to help us here today to understand is that we feel and we can see evidence that we are in a powerless world where power is in the wrong hands and we are powerless. But we are not powerless. We are able to be aware in resilience that there is a shit show happening around us. Just be real, shit show out there. I never thought I would see the day on social media like I am today. And yet, at the same time, that does not mean I have to trade in happy moments with my family. I don't owe the shit show anything. And I think that becomes the vibration, at least for me, it does. When the pandemic started, it was like, who am I to post about my happy moments? It's almost like, you don't want to, like, when your friend lets you know that someone has passed in their family, you're not like, oh, that's so sad. So I have this birthday party next week if you want to like come, right? It's insensitive. We start to view that as like selfish or it's wrong. right? We don't want to be insensitive. We want to be sensitive. At the same time, we're so sensitive that we've shut down completely, right? But here, what I'm telling you is the shit show isn't stopping, right? The acceptance is it's only going to get worse. And that's not a belief in low vibration. That's kind of just truth with the world right now. And at the same time, how angry do you think it would make whoever's puppeteering if we weren't happy, or if we were happy? I had this vision this morning when I was trying to picture how to word this. And I, of course, went to Christmas, how the Grinch stole Christmas, right? So when the Grinch stole all the presents and the little Who's, right, in Whoville, were out there singing, even though all the presents were stolen and everything was gone. And it was like, what? Why? How are you still happy? How are you still singing? The Who's weren't happy the gifts were stolen. The Who's were saying it wasn't about the gifts, right? It's about this moment. It's about connection. That was a very realistic representation of vibration, right? You can take the gifts, fine. That's not the conversation today. The conversation is, how do we get back up? How do we all connect hands? And how do we sing on Christmas morning in spite of everything being taken? That's what we want to feel empowered in here. Because if I were to get on here and tell you, just don't worry, the gifts will come back, that's a lie. If I were to tell you, well, you can just be happy without gifts, that's a lie, right? That isn't what we're fighting here. What I'm saying is we have choice to stand up and say, fuck you. And in the same breath, feel real emotions of love, of connection, in spite of what these people think they can take. And that is someone that is really freaking scary. When someone can be happy in the mess of what is happening, those are the people, those are the leaders, those are the, like, we are here to do that. And when I say, oh, let's just raise our vibration, let's just be happy, let's help the world by being happy, I'm not talking about the bullshit that other people say what they mean by that, because I'm not talking about ignorance is bliss here. And I'm not saying be happy and unaware, right? Can we all agree on that? But it is important to have the belief inside of us, because especially us, we have a belief that it's wrong when there's pain happening. And we can't let that happen, because then they steal more than the gifts. And that's what I'm saying. Then they've stolen you. Here, we're looking to find the magic in ourselves. The magic, thank God, isn't out there. It's really hard to find out there right now. The magic really is inside. And in here, right, when I say the world out there is just telling you to think positively, that is not vibration. That is not vibration. Vibration is, thoughts do have vibration, but our vibration, our being, is so much more than that. If our thoughts have vibration, but we're feeling all this, like feeling, the only way to move through a feeling is to feel it. If I had $1 for all the times someone asked me to clear a feeling that was theirs, man, like I would be set, right? It's always this like, oh, then what do? You feel it. But in this time, it's we don't want to feel because it's already low, right? I don't want to feel pain and open up that emotion because it's just going to start to collect and collect and collect. So maybe what we're afraid of is that we don't have resilience, that we don't have the ability to come back and be happy through emotion. And what I'm saying is practice. Practice. Use the movement to practice because here in the alignment waves, right, we're walking 30 minutes a day, not for our bodies, not for health, for our vibration. Now, movement, you can also do other movement, by the way. That's just, the base. If you have other things you want to do, great. Like I know Julie, she can't walk, right? So she's doing stretching or yoga. You do whatever you want, okay? But move with intention of feeling, okay? But what's great about the movement and feeling is that it sets an open container and it closes the container when you're done. So it's a beautiful, safe space to feel with expiration. And the beautiful part about kind of having that set movement alongside feeling is that movement helps move the emotion, right? So if I'm going to sit and cry, I'm going to need to sit and cry there longer than if I were to walk and cry, right? It's just how quickly it can move, right? Movement, motion can help it leave, right? I don't want us to try to set parameters on, okay, I'm going to go on Thursday, have a really deep, longest cry I've ever had. Sometimes, right, the emotions are going to hit you when you don't plan it. And then you go, okay, let me go do my walk early or my movement early. Let me go just take a pause on life, get the movement, feel it, rather than let me bottle it up. I'll feel this on my move. Sometimes you don't have the option if we're working or anything like that. If you do have the option, allow yourself like the feelings to guide you on the time of when you move, right? That being said, coming back to alignment waves, I have noticed that whenever there's peaks of really intense days, like laws being passed or news being, out there, things happening, it's the easiest thing to not want to feel high vibration things. It's just natural. And people that are manipulating understand this, right? It's the first thing that goes, it's the last thing that we want to do. But in moments like this, it's so easy to get off track. It's so easy to like, oh, I don't feel well. I just want to like hide. I just want to, just not deal with anything. I don't want to go feel. I don't want to go do this. Don't worry if you missed a couple days, right? It's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up. We're not like you can have a perfect streak and not have felt anything, and it wouldn't have impacted your vibration in the same way, right? You could have like up and down all over the place in consistency, but you really, really felt, and your vibration will change. So I don't want you to get stuck on the boxes, right? The consistency helps your mind and helps heal your mind, right? What you do on the run or the walk or whatever you're doing helps you feel the vibration. What's really cool about the emotion mapping that I showed you guys, what's really cool about that is walking can help you have a vibration and actually appear in times when you do want to hide or dim or all of those things. So even if all you have is like, I can't do it, but I'm gonna get out and walk. You see how there's no perfect answer? Hey, Lynn, there's no perfect answer, but there's a commitment to the vibration. And this is also why I don't want us to focus on the body, because when there's low vibrations happening, when there's lower energies happening, our bodies feel it, right? We feel that impact. We're like, oh, I just need like a heavy meal and a nap. I am feeling bloating. I'm feeling sharp pains. I'm feeling headaches. We feel the impact of everything. We don't want the impact of the vibration to stop the movement if it's just energy, right? So here's the cool thing I do. If I'm not feeling well, I'll just kind of like start the movement, right? I'll be like, I can go walk for 10 minutes, right? If I don't start to feel it lift in 10 minutes, I'm gonna stop. But if I start to feel better, I know that wasn't real. And so if you notice, right, when you start to feel like, oh, I don't want to go out there, I don't want to do that, like just say, you know, let me just try for 10 minutes. And if I have a pounding migraine and it's not going away, that's mine. That's mine. But if it starts to lift, resilience, and you are not taking away my power, and it can become very empowering, right? Like I had a walk the other week. I was getting so into it. I was doing like Tai Chi a little bit with like energy, you know, and I just like at the end of it got really into my song and I was like, dude. I was like punching the air like a maniac and just like kickboxing or something, right? It's like clearly I don't need to like move energy with the sun today. Right? Like clearly today I need to like punch the air. And like that's beautiful. Like our vibration, our emotions, our bodies will guide us as well. Don't get fixated on, well, today's Magic Monday, so I gotta wait for Wednesday to feel the feels. Feel the feels on a Monday, right? It's okay. It's okay to get out of like they aren't gonna match up perfectly with what you're feeling. If you're having a feel the feels day on a Monday, go to Wednesday and see what should I do in a feel the feels moment and do that on Monday, right? It's like you have the power. There is no perfect way to go through this process. But when you look at it through the lens of vibration, you start to see different things. You start to hear different things. You start to realize different things, right? We're taught to look at everything through the lens of everything. And that is why it's so overwhelming, right? It's overwhelming. What's the perfect meal? Well, it depends. What are we doing? Like sushi at the movies is not the perfect meal, right? And yeah, I love sushi. I love the movies. A perfect meal at the movies is pretzel sticks and cheese, right? Like give me that melty cheese, man, right? Popcorn. So I don't want you guys to fall into the, oh well, I've fallen off track, or maybe you've been doing great. That's awesome, right? I posted in the group and a lot of you are doing awesome. That's great. But it's okay to need a reset. That isn't giving up. That's like anytime you need to get back up and reset, that's an empowering move. Like everyone is going to fall off track. Can we just say that? Everybody at one point, me included. Okay, we're all going to fall off track at some point. But not all of us are going to get back up. And that's the difference, right? That's the difference. So now that I've primed with current events and hopefully a delicate, empowering way, what a crazy time to be trying to like talk out there, man. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, I trust you guys, so that's fine. It's a little less, but hi, happy birthday. But I wanted to kind of open up for chat, if you guys want to unmute, if you want to just post in the chat, maybe just kind of talk me through how you're feeling, what's going on, what do you need, a highlight moment, a moment where you felt maybe um, you needed extra help. Like, how are you? Sherlyn,
Hey, how are you?
hi. Happy
Can you hear me
birthday.
okay?
Yeah.